Welcome to another episode of Riding and Wrenching, the biggest little YouTube channel on the entire interwebs. I am your host, Q the Rider, and in today's episode, I'm going to do my finale, my day 3 wrap-up from Lock and Lean 201. Before I get started, I want to recognize the sponsors for Riding and Wrenching. We have Wings Customs and Volunteer Audio. So, Lock and Lean 201 is in the books, and without any further ado, I passed. I made it. There was a lot of questions along the way. So in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about the whole class and talk about some of my experiences, some of the things that I learned, and you're also going to have an opportunity to hear from the owner and founder of Lock and Lean, Ben Wolf, and you'll also meet the instructors that are here. So, Lock and Lean 201. Day 1 for me was I was nervous, and so the first part of the day I was struggling a little bit with right and left turns, but I really knew how to do it, and eventually after about 20 or 30 minutes I got the cobwebs off and I relaxed. But then the exercises started, and some of the exercises that they have out here, you have a brakeless 18-foot U-turn that you're going to do to the right and left. I hate brakeless, or at least I did when we started. But it was actually a really good exercise, and by the end of day 3, I was pretty comfortable with the brakeless. There's also a figure 8, a keyhole designed figure 8, and you kind of circle through one way and come back, circle through another way, and circle back through again, and then you come out. So that was also challenging for me in that you go to the right, and my right turns, they're getting better, but if I'm being honest, it's still in my head a little bit going to the right, but I got more comfortable by the end of the class. There's also a timed pattern, and it's a combination of cone weaves, sharp right and left turns, 360 turns, and keyhole, and you're working through narrow spaces, and you had to maneuver through this entire pattern in less than 2 minutes. My first timed pass through it was 1 minute and 59 seconds. So I passed, but I ran it a second time and I got my time down to 1 minute and 50 seconds. As I understand it, the best rider in our class made it through in, I think, about 1 minute and 35 seconds or so, somewhere around there. It was really good. So there were some really, really strong riders out here. And it was nice having them here because you get to see what's possible. I get to, they gave me something to work towards. So it was really good watching the more skilled riders out here. There's also some precision patterns that we had to learn. And precision patterns are not timed. It's not speed-based. It's accuracy and being smooth through some very tight, narrow paths. And so I got that too. So I think I did really well during the class. I'm really happy about it. So some of the key things I learned. Number 1, it's just because you have a new motorcycle, don't assume that you won't have problems with it, because I did have an issue, and I talked about it in my day 2 video, the little wiring harness that was loose, and fortunately another rider identified that problem for me, took care of it, and I was able to relax, and day 3 went so much better. I really felt super comfortable in day 3. All the confidence that I lost in day 2 because of that wiring harness, all the confidence I lost, it all came back on day 3, and I was perfectly comfortable. What else did I learn? All right, so this next thing I'm going to talk about, again, still in line talking about my motorcycle, I had all of these plans for things I was going to change on King George here, my Road King. I talked about how when I was making sharp left turns, I was scraping the kickstand. That's still true. But I also learned that part of my problem with scraping the kickstand on here was poor technique. And so I need to be more consistent. I need to lean into the bars and follow the process that I was taught. And you don't have to scrape as much. And so that's something I'm going to work on. In fact, one of the instructors was told me something I already knew, but I really didn't think about it. But if I find myself scraping, let the clutch out just a little bit, and that'll help bring the bike up a little bit. And so I was practicing that, and that's something I'm really going to work on. Now, I'm still going to change the shocks on this bike, but the scraping thing is something that's more of a rider. It's more of a rider issue that I got to work on. What else? What else? Oh, I want to talk about some of the riders that I met out here. One of the cool things about Lock and Lean, and actually every motorcycle class I've been to, you meet people from all over the place. So we have riders here from Tennessee and Florida. There's some riders from Wisconsin and Illinois, and even some people from foreign countries like Canada and even California. So it was really cool meeting them. And, we treated them like guests, and in particular the people from California who aren't really Americans. Lock and Lean, there are some questions that I wanted to answer that I imagine some people would have. Number one, would I recommend Lock and Lean to other riders? Absolutely. Some of the things I would personally recommend as a student, I'd recommend that you try to be comfortable with your motorcycle. Obviously, you need to have a motorcycle endorsement. I'd be comfortable leaning my bike and at least be comfortable attempting tight U-turns, because starting in Lock and Lean 101, you're going to start doing tight U-turns right away. And if you're really uncomfortable leaning your motorcycle, you're going to struggle. And if you have that struggle, I would recommend that you contact Lock and Lean prior to registering for the class and just let them know where you are, and they can help guide you on the best decision for you. In terms of the type of motorcycle, almost every motorcycle here is a Harley Davidson. I have seen, there was a BMW. The BMW was real maneuverable. I think it was a 1250, I believe. Real nice bike, great rider, but he kind of flowed through the course like it was nothing. But everyone else has Harley Davidsons, mostly Road Kings. Now, when I was here at this Pensacola last year for the rodeo, I was on my Street Glide. And it is such a big difference doing these tight patterns on a Road King. It's almost like cheating, but it doesn't matter what type of bike you have, truthfully, whether you have a Road King or some type of fairing bike, the techniques don't change. It's all the same. However, I don't think an Indian could make it through here. I really don't. They don't turn that tight. But, the BMWs, the Harley Davidsons, I think you'll be fine with that. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the interview with Ben Wolf. The audio is not that great, but hopefully you'll be able to hear it all. Introduce yourself, sir.
Ted Jacobs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Proud Lock and Lean instructor.
Ken Grant from right here in Pensacola. Wade Smith, just outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Jeff Beck, Windsor, Wisconsin.
And Ben Wolf, Northern Illinois. If you want to have complete control of your motorcycle, if you want to make it an extension of you, and really feel like if something were to unfold on the street in front of you, that you will just react based on the training that you received, you are the person that is a candidate for us. And whether you have 10 minutes of experience with your motorcycle endorsement or 50 years, we can break bad habits and we can also create new ones to get you out of more situations than put you into them. Second question.
What kind of motorcycle?
Any motorcycle that you want to bring to this class, we can teach you on. So if you ride a Goldwing, that's cool. If you ride a Honda Grom, that's cool. Whatever you decide that you want to ride on the road, we'll teach you how to maneuver that motorcycle within the limits of the machine. So don't be afraid to bring something outside of the box. You do not need a police motorcycle or a special motorcycle to take this training.
And last question, what should someone do prior to taking Lock and Lean to prepare for it, get the most out of the class when they're here?
I've gone back and forth on this, and I would say this: they need to keep an open mind. And can you come to this class without any prior training? Yes. Can you have success doing that? Yes. Because if we're teaching you from square one, then we're teaching you good habits in our process. However, if we're not available to you in the time frame you want to take the training, perhaps find training through another outlet, whatever that may be, more so than just trying to figure it out on your own. But as far as anything specific to do, keep an open mind and find a Lock and Lean 101 class in your region. We have rentals in different regions. We would love to be the starting point for you. But again, if you can't get training through us because of timing or whatever your issue may be, find a training class, an accredited, legitimate training class, and start your journey.
And one last question. I need you to tell my enormous audience why I am the greatest student you've ever had. Let's go. Go ahead. Let's do this.
The reason Q is the greatest student that I've ever had is because
I am so beautiful.
he is so
Beautiful
to me. I mean, he is a beautiful man on a beautiful machine. And what were we saying this whole week after he aced the pattern? So fresh.
So clean.
Congratulations on your
Thank you,
journey.
sir. Also on Friday, my buddy Jogo, he is here now, and so we're going to have our slow ride competition. So if you're anywhere near Pensacola, come to Pensacola Harley Davidson. We're going to have a meet and greet at 4 o'clock. Or we're going to do our slow race, I think, at 4 o'clock, and we'll have our meet and greet shortly thereafter. So come by and say hello to us. This is Q. I'm riding, I'm wrenching, and I am out.
We're in it to win it.
You're in. Wait, hold on. Let me get my other mic.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody in there?